Somebody shot my dad. I get the killer mentality. I come from murder and tragedy. Single burn home and family. Do this shit for my whole family. I'ma go get me a Grammy. You know that I'm missing you, Granny. Backbone to my whole family. I got to turn for the family.
So let's just go to how you even go into a situation and diffuse it. First, I want to start with, what do you think are like the top 3 to 5 reasons why there's even beef in the street right now? I mean, we've seen situations. I mean, we know right now DC is higher in homicides than it was a year ago. We know we can talk about, the shooting that happened with the 20 people. We can get into all of that. But why do you think like this year as opposed to last year, why there's more violence that's happening in DC right now?
I think that people have been, bottled up, caged in, stuck in the house, and there's nowhere for no one to go. So just using that incident from Minnesota Avenue, hey, if we have a big cookout, everything's free. People like free stuff. People ain't got no clubs to go to. You feel what I'm saying? So hey, let's go around there. But what fuels that? Lack of communication, lack of respect on so many aspects. It's a lot of youngins out here and older people, man, who just don't have no respect that are very disrespectful, right? So when you get those things and you mix them all up, you have issues. But I think the number one issue right now is lack of respect and to a degree social media. Because a lot of these kids, like when we was growing up, we might get a beef because we went to the go-go, right? You might get to fighting with somebody at the go-go or club or something. These young are not even going to the clubs or the go-go's, but they beefing. So how can you be beefing when you don't even interact? You beefing because somebody made a diss song, or somebody said something crazy or posted something, and it flies off the handle. And then some of the situations just going on, they're generations feuding. They don't even know why they beefing. So like once again, lack of communication. I realized that a lot of the guys that call each other their ops, both of them want the same thing. They want peace, but they don't know how to approach it and respect it, and get to that point. I've came in to situations personally where I was able to negate a situation where guys was actually shooting at each other. I didn't offer them nothing. I didn't give them nothing other than my word. And the whole thing was communication. I communicated with one side, the other side was open for communication. And I ping pong to the point where they came to understand it. And now, I've built a relationship with, pretty much both of the guys, and it is what it is. No one went to jail. No one was actually hurt. You feel what I'm saying? So I just really think that those are the top things. Social media, people was tired. They've been bottled up, especially these youngins. They fancy, and then the drugs fuel it too.
So let me ask you about
drugs. It alter your mood and ego.
Let me ask you about the code of the streets,
Go
man.
ahead.
Let me ask you about the code in the streets. How do you feel like the code, the rules are gone?
Yeah, to a degree, most definitely, because now these youngins, they just start shooting anybody, shooting. You feel what I'm saying? Their thing now is, I'm about to go spin, and when they spin and they get to shooting, they ain't spinning trying to shoot who they supposed to be beefing with.
Exactly.
They shooting anybody. Like, you shooting at people that's not even shooting at you. How is that going to do something to somebody? You hurting people that have nothing to do with your situation. So like, let's say you go to jail for a murder of someone in the community, right? And they had nothing to do with it. Where the opposition still on the street. They got rid of you. You out the way. You feel what I'm saying? You out the way. You sitting in the joint. That dude or that woman, whoever you beating with, they still out there. Like really? You feel what I'm saying? If you gonna do that, you might as well go ahead and try to negate it and squash it if you're gonna do that, because you're gonna lose at the end of the day. Because you might be creating another beef by hitting an innocent person. Because that person got family and friends too, right? So it grows your situation, everybody want a reputation. It's the code of the streets. Everybody want a reputation, but nobody takes in consideration of having a reputation of saying, man, fuck that shit. We good. Let's squash it. Nobody has that reputation. Why? Because that don't mean you're a sucker. It just means you're a thinker. But
Right.
you don't hear about that type of reputation. But at one time, you had guys in this city, right, who would actually go and had that type of reputation. Did you know that I can go and talk to Boobie because Boobie cool with them? He gonna go over there because Boobie, he ain't a sucker. He just respected, and we both respect him. Let's try to figure this out before it goes somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to also understand that sometimes you don't have peace until after war.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Are there
And see, and some people don't want that.
so
What you saying,
so
Doc?
Boobie, are there any situations like where you've approached it and then you're like, I think any situation can potentially be handled, but is there any situation you ever been in where you're like, because it might be, I don't know, it could be a lot of money at stake, where it's just like, because some violence interrupters might say, and I'm like my man Lenny, shout out to Lenny who does his work in Baltimore, has told me like in Baltimore, some situations where you're like, I don't even know if it's potentially that you could even intervene in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
I
every
don't.
situation you can intervene in?
I believe that every situation you can intervene in. I believe it. Now, what point in time can I intervene is something different, right?
Right.
Because sometimes we can't get the results that we want when we want them. Because we want them don't mean that it's going to happen. We want it to happen. But some
Mm-hmm.
situations be can be negated at some point. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes peace don't come until after war. You realize casualties and you get to that point and you get an understanding or y'all mature, you can reach that. I'm a prime example, man. Listen, I done been on both sides of the gun. You feel what I'm saying? And I say
Right.
this, wholeheartedly, 100%. Man, listen, I've been paralyzed from the waist down, right? And the guys that I was beefing with, man, we don't have a problem there. And it ain't because the police, it's because as men, as we mature, we got to that point where we said, hey, that ain't what's happening. It happened when we was in prison, but everything was away from the situation. There was no drugs, there was no money, there was no firearms. It was man to man. Listen, I'm gonna explain this, and you gotta look at what I'm telling you. The reason that I did what I did was because of this. And once he realized what I told him, he had to respect it and accept it. Not had to, but he chose to respect it and accept it. Right. And once he
Right.
respected it and accepted it, we was able to have a conversation and real talk. Like, I can get on the phone and call the guy right now, literally.
That's what's up, man.
OTL, Mafia Music. I don't really do the computers. I'm in the street with the movers. I'm on the block with the shooters.